Yo, what's up, guys? It's your boy Papa C. Now, Palworld. I haven't played the game yet. I don't know. No, I've heard from a lot of people that it's good, that it's fun, but recently there have been a little bit of some controversy stirring up about it, and I'm sure some of you know about one of the things. But I've also noticed another thing with this company that's kind of common, and it might happen here. But anyway, one of the things I've one of the things is with the whole art scandal. No, in how Palworld has copied design elements of certain creatures, certain Pokemon, in order for their own creatures. Now, as you can see with you see with Leafeon, you see this with Arcanine's main. Hell, you can see with the whole body shape of Cinderace, race in general for this one on which frankly is just kind of lazy really when you see it. But you see that a majority of this is just like a mishmash of various other types of Pokemon to create one Mon in general. You have this with the 2D image. You have this with the Esper. Actually, hold on. I want to go to Palworld's actual. Holy shit! I just realized something. Have we ever actually seen any 2D art of any of these creatures? Any of the pals? We've only seen 3D images of them. And I mean in general, if I were to look up Palworld art, I don't. Nope. Nope. All of it is just 3D. We've never once seen a single one of these designs in 2D, only just a 3D market. Keep in note, no, when you see, I'm gonna just use this as an example. When you see a Digimon or a Pokemon design, what's the first thing they show you? The 2D art version. Keep in note, when we ever see a Pokemon trailer, they always show us, first and foremost, the 2D design of the Pokemon. Then they show us the 3D implementation of it. Here, Palworld has just shown us 3D designs, and you can see, yeah, they are showing a lot of similarities with Pokemon. You have this one that has Esper's fur on the side of its face, and drooping ears, ears. You then have this Meganium, and this lookalike that seems to have a mishmash of Lilligant's hair, flower hair, on the top. Although there's another variant that just has two, and then it's put on all fours. Has magenta claws, but still has the cane color as Meganium. Then you have this Robin Quill, which basically is just a Decidueye knockoff, just minus the owl motif. Teeth. Then you have something that's very much more egregious, which is how this one has very high similarities to an actual fan-made Mega Delphox design. To which, look, much as I'm sure there are people who don't like Game Freak and are very much okay with that stealing their design, most likely stealing from Game Freak's own designs. This is a fan made. This is someone's fan made creation being taken. I think we should draw a line here, and say, yeah, that's not cool. Cool. Now, ultimately, I'll say this: hey, maybe that's just a coincidence. But then again, given the fact that we have multiple other coincidences, maybe that might not be a coincidence. Now, this one it's just Egyptian Lucario, that's all I can say really. Oh, now I'm actually starting to see it. This one is just, yeah, this is quite literally Corviknight with a mask. Gosh, just change the color scheming and boom. And then, last but not least, we head to Craftopia, to Ftopia, the game that the people of Pocket Pair have also made, and where you now see purple bokoblins and moblins, and a Lionel, along with the fact that they also made a game called AI Art Imposter, to which is very much not being received positively. Now, ultimately, keep in note, Onion Moo is a man who's worked is a dude who's worked on the game Monster Crown, a fun indie game, monster catching indie game, which is really good, and I recommend you play it. Play it. Also, the sequel may be coming out. Is coming out soon. Maybe soon. I don't know. I haven't actually didn't know there was going to be a sequel, but I'm excited to see what it's going to be like. Like, ultimately, this dude didn't make this to call it a ripoff of Palworld and complete another ripoff, off, or that it's an evil game that should never be played, but is calling it out because if the guys were able to make a game that was really good to play and was really fun, how come they couldn't put the effort to actually make original designs for the game? That's his. Oh, that's what his. That's why he is saying this. He's not trying to dick right for Pokemon. He's just calling out the fact that yeah, this is kind of lazy. Lazy. Come on, guys. It's not really that good. Good. Okay. We gotta be mature here when we're talking this out because ultimately we should call this out. Just because the game's fun, that doesn't give it an excuse to do shit that we all would have called out as shady and dirty by any other means. And before we get to that part, keep a note there have been a lot of people who have been agreeing with him, if not liking his post posts, then there have been people commenting or trying to retweet him. It shows that people do agree with him on these statements. And then we go to here. Now, I could easily do a funny voice and accents to mock this person, but I'm not going to. Game Freak White Knights do love going after indie games to protect their multi-billionaire game franchise, which only makes poorly designed and optimized games. To which it's clear this man didn't read Onion Moon's entire bio that he did work on an indie game himself. So again, but then again, this is just proof. But then again, people on Twitter don't really like to use logic and reason. But it's Twitter. I don't think anyone's in the disagree with me on this. It's Twitter. No one uses logic and reasoning on Twitter. That's a fact of life, man. Come on. But ultimately, if you wanted to ask my opinion, personally, I do not like the fact that the people on Palworld actually did this. I find it to be extremely lazy, and if you guys can make such a good game, how come you couldn't put the effort into actually creating original designs for the monsters in your own worlds? It's really lazy, if not kind of shady. Now, ultimately, let's go into the next controversy, which is their early access problem, rather issue. Now, Craftopia. Yeah, this is their second game in which was supposed to be a multiplayer survival action game, even though it was made in Japan, which is basically gonna have like hack and slash building thing. It's kind of like open world Fortnite, I believe, without the shooting. Now, this game has been in early access. Now I'm betting you're like, okay, well, how long has it been in early access for? 4 years. This game was released on September 4th, 2020, and it's been early access for 4 years. And as you can see that these recent reviews have been piling up. I mean, originally there were a lot of people being positive about it, but as you can see, it's kind of like been dwindling, like a lot. And that's ultimately due to the fact that they really haven't done anything to, from what I've seen, they haven't really, what I've heard, they haven't really done anything to update it. They did, and hell, have even most likely abandoned it for Palworld. Oh, you have AI art imposter, which is basically, oh, you gotta figure out who's using AI art to be the imposter. This has also been in early access for 2 years. Give it a give it a while. It'll be most likely in early access for 5 more. Now, their only game that hasn't been in early access is Over Dungeon, Dungeon, which was in early access, but then was truly properly released on 2019. This is the only game that hasn't been in early access. Meanwhile, Palworld has been in early access. And keep a note, this has kind of led some people to believe that Pocket Pair might just be using this as a pump and dump strategy. And by that I mean a good pump and dump strategy. Basically, make the game actually good so that way people will actually continue to have more and more people buy it so that way you can make more and more money off of it. Then just let the money rack up and then leave it for some new project that you want to make, and then continue doing this over and over and over again, and to make a lot of money. This is something that people who have actually seen this stuff before try to call out and warn people about, but most people decide to brush off those people's own complaints by saying, "Oh wow, who gives a shit? Who cares?" Now, ultimately, what do I think? I'm not gonna lie. I think those people who were calling this shit out as shady, were really right. Because when you kind of see that almost all their games are in early access, it doesn't really give you a positive feeling that hey, maybe this game will actually be different. It might just be that they might not in general care enough to actually release the game in general. Just say. I want to believe that I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong and that they will fully release the game, but they could easily just make a ton of money off of it and then just dip. But hey, that's all I got to say for this matter. This matter, let me know what you guys think. You guys think about whole Palworld controversies specifically about this. Because I've noticed that there were some videos talking about how the devs want to actually use it for crypto and NFTs, which wow, okay, now that's really fucking worrisome. But I want to know what you guys think about it. Please let me know in the comments down below. How do you guys think about it? I'm gonna go try and play Palworld myself. Don't worry. I have my ways and my methods. Yar har. That's so stupid. But anyway, that's all I got to say for this video, guys. This is your boy Connor Valone signing off. Peace. Oh, please share, like, subscribe to the original 5. Blah 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 blah. Peace.